All right, everybody, welcome to NorCal Sports Network. And this is the same hat that Brock Purdy's dad wears. Chat loves it when Marty Lurie comes on.
Anytime you lose a game this time of year, when you can't go backwards, it's a problem.
All right, everybody, welcome on in. NorCal Sports Network. Little new intro. There we go. And have something to eat to. The Warriors sure didn't have it tonight. A little bit of a smackdown tonight, huh? This video or this show brought to you by Chapman Law Group. For all your legal needs, give Chapman Law Group a call, 415-613-9483. And, give them a call like the Warriors need to give them a call because they look like they are, their shots, they look like they got a ball and chain around them the way they're shooting threes. My goodness. They couldn't put one in the ocean tonight. Lou, what?
Oh,
my
all
goodness.
I know, Dan, first of all, I had a great night. I went to the House of Prime Rib tonight, so I had a big end cut. I missed the first half. So I don't know what happened to Wiggins. I didn't really look it up, but I saw the whole second half where the Warriors made a big run. But, without Wiggins there, I feel, and Kuminga, you could tell, was a little bit tired, especially after last night. Where, these other guys either got to step up and show that they can play back-to-back. And the turnovers, the turnovers hurt them again. And the Warriors had that big run, just couldn't get over the hump, But Minnesota tonight was a better team. And last but not least, you can't have two quarters where you only score 15 and 18 points at home and expect to win.
Yeah.
There's 90 points for the game.
Look, I don't think the Warriors will win Sunday either. It's not a good matchup. I see this all the time. It's what I said a few days ago. Minnesota's length kills the Warriors. The Warriors, they can't get their shots up. You can't drive when Gobert's in there. He just is a stinking. TJD misses a 1-foot layup.
He did that last game. The Bunnies.
Dunk the ball, dude. Dunk the ball. You're 6'10". You got. My goodness. And he lays it up, and he can't put it in because he's hurrying the shot. Well, when you hurry your shot, just go and crunch it, man.
We talked about this.
That's ridiculous. And then, the passing tonight, balls getting thrown into the stands on 2 or 3 consecutive possessions.
I had some bad plays, and, of course, Green getting upset about everything. But, here's the kicker. 32 for 82 at home, you're never going to win. You got to at least be, a little bit better. You got to be closer to 45, 50%, especially at home, And it's just, one of those things where, the three-pointers, 11 for 39 again. Remember, we talked about last night, they forgot the three-pointer and took the ball inside. Now, I know you have a beast inside, but you got to do something different. And here's a perfect example. This is a great comment. This is without Wiggins. I don't know how bad the injury is. What are they going to do? Can it play Steph 45 minutes out of 48? That's a big problem.
Yeah, they don't have any depth at, Pods can't shoot. He can't really score. Peyton's not a scorer. Buddy Hield is cold. And who's their other guard that I'm thinking of? Moody, I guess.
Moody, 7 minutes tonight only?
He hurt his knee or something. Hurt his knee.
Moody and Wiggins might not play Sunday then.
Possibly. Wiggins is dealing with an ankle. They're not going to – I don't think they can beat Minnesota. Minnesota's hot, and Minnesota is hungry. About that. They got off to a crappy start. Anthony Edwards publicly called him out before, they mentioned it tonight on the show, on the broadcast. Yeah. He actually did it in the locker room first, but the fact that
you get that on NorCal before anybody else.
There you go. So I think it's going to be tough. I think it's going to be tough for them to beat Minnesota. Minnesota, to me, I can't remember what we had in our early preseason predictions, but I think I had Minnesota up there pretty high. I like Gobert and Naz Reid and McDaniels, and then you throw in, probably first team All-NBA in Anthony Edwards, and you got a pretty solid lineup. You got a big four right there, and then you got I'm drawing a blank, the lefty, the veteran guard. No, oh yeah, I forgot Julius Randle, Conley. Conley is a good veteran.
Yeah, sorry.
He's a good veteran that he's kind of like slows the team down, gets them in, or they're not a big fast-paced offense, but they're a heck of a defense. And that's what's going to win games in the playoffs. When you get into the playoffs, it's going to be all about defense and length because it stops, So the Warriors are going to have to make a move. Ryan, what's the move that the Warriors need to make this month?
Yeah, I think, we've talked about a bunch of different players. I think for sure need another guard, I would say, and then be good to get another big man too. So I think could be good. I think for me first would be another ball handler, and then right after that would be, another center or someone who's like a center, at least someone who's at least. I want someone who's taller than 6'8", 6'9" on the team. It would be nice to have like a Nikola Vucevic or a Robert Williams, someone like that who's actually, tall.
Here's the trade. I think the trade to make. We did this the other night. I think
get a big body.
Let me tell you the trade that the Warriors need to make. I took a picture of it so I would remember it. I just got to find it, and that what. You guys carry on my machine here. Where's the
I think trade? From the game tonight, real quick is I thought that sequence in the fourth, and Mark mentioned it too. Right before that too, there was a bad lineup which had a scoring drought. But then there was a terrible sequence where it was a bad pass by I forget who. Then it was a bad shot by Pods, and then Draymond, another bad pass, a turnover, and it was just. I think that sequence is just it basically killed us. I think if things go a little differently in the fourth, I think we definitely wouldn't have gotten blown out. I don't know if we would have won, but all of a sudden it just zero off.
Ryan, with that, it went from a 3-point deficit that you've been climbing all the way back to all of a sudden it was 10 again, and then 12.
Yep,
and it was over.
Yeah, the trade that I wanted to. Couldn't remember. I can't find it, but it was Vucevic and Josh Giddey from.
I like Vucevic. He's stud.
Get Giddey to be the ball handler in place of Pods. He takes over the second unit as the ball handler. Giddey and Vucevic for I can't remember who it was. I know it was Melton and might have been Pods.
It was Pods. It was Pods, and then it was Peyton. I know for sure.
Yeah, and Melton, that was it, I think. I think that was it. And
yeah, I know $6 million is what Giddey's making, and Vucevic makes 20, so it's 26. So I think it was Lindy Waters was in there too, or somebody like that. But so. It was you're really not losing much. It's basic, or maybe it was Guy Santos. You're basically losing, probably one extra player because you're getting two back. So because again, Melton's not playing. So
yeah, I thought tonight their bench outplayed our bench. And the other thing too is you got to remember one thing about Minnesota. They made a big trade, right? Huge trade. They got rid of their big guy for 2. Now Minnesota's figuring out how it's going to work. So the rest of the year for them, they're going to realize, like Naz Reid tonight was unbelievable from what I saw the second half. He was interfering. He was getting rebounds. The other thing, too, is you could tell tonight what team was having more fun. Minnesota and Edwards were talking to the crowd. You almost thought the game was actually in Minnesota. They were having so much fun. He's talking to all these players, the fans, Lake Up and all that, and that's, the Warriors, again, it was back-to-back night, except for Curry and Green, but, I don't know, this team is definitely missing
Draymond
something.
looked washed. Looked washed tonight. I think he looked really bad. Obviously, Steph wasn't super efficient, but I actually thought Steph had a good game. He didn't have a bunch of stupid. Draymond had a bunch of stupid passes, and that's when Draymond's not in the game. That's usually what
court that never works.
Yeah, it's too much, and when Draymond's not in the game and he's not putting his full effort in, it's like I'd rather just not have him play because he doesn't provide anything offensively. So if he's not, really there mentally and physically, he's not like I don't think Steph was 100% there tonight, but he was good enough where it's like, it was good to see Steph in there. Thought he was good. He wasn't great. One anything to write home about. But Draymond looked like washed. Not, I don't know if that's the right word. Not washed, but he looked really tired and he looked extremely I don't know what the right word is, but I just don't think he was really into the game until he got slapped by Julius Randle, and then he got another technical foul from the ref, and I think, and then after that, I don't know. I think it was a weird game from Draymond overall. I think when Draymond's not 100%, sometimes it might be best. I don't think we really needed Draymond tonight necessarily either. It might have been better just put Steph out there with the guys and see if Steph and Kuminga kind of could have done a little two-man game. Give Draymond another day off.
It's pretty crazy how the team went from 12, 13 deep to all of a sudden they're having Pat Spencer have to come in. It's pretty.
Dan, I want to bring up 2 points of the game tonight. One, we've been talking about how the refs really sort of changed the game, and that was when Peyton went up and they wind up calling him for a charge instead of a and one, possibly, like what was the call on the court. I thought that was a big play of the game because it really was a huge focus from them getting from 8 down. I mean, the thing to 8 with a possible free throw. It went to 10, and then they wind up getting a 2-pointer the other way. So it was a 5-point turnaround. And then the Warriors in the fourth quarter, when it started getting away, had 3 straight possessions. And, Curry's trying to get open, but, they realize they're double teaming him. And Waters shot all 3, and they all went in and out. Now, I have no problem with Waters because the balls, are good shots are going in and out. But that's where Kuminga needs the ball or do something, And what happened? It was one shot and done. With the big guy there, he gets it, boom, and then it's like a 3-on-1. But 3 straight possessions, Curry doesn't get the ball, or Kuminga. What are they doing on the floor then? I mean, nothing wrong with it, but you got to make sure your best players get the ball somehow.
So you think they're pretty much? I mean, Draymond and Curry have 2 years left after this year, and it looks like they're pretty much committed to both to ride it out. And now there was word out today. We'll talk about this. Michael Wilbon on ESPN,
again, the same thing.
ESPN brought up that the Warriors need to make a trade and they need to do it soon. And they need the one star they said they need to go get is LeBron.
Yeah.
And Mike or Wimby, what is it? Windhorse. Brian Windhorse said unlikely because it would be difficult and you might have to get a third team involved. I don't know what the Warriors are going to do, but it feels like, does it not feel like desperation time is coming? Like it's going to be that they may try and do something big, that they could see the season and the possibility of a 5th for Steph and Draymond slipping away. What do you think? Because
Ryan,
with this new CBA, it creates more for not trades at the trade deadline in February, but quickly. It's like the teams that move in December are the ones that are going to get ahead. And I just don't know who you could get that makes them a contender, because when I watch them play like tonight, even though Wiggins wasn't 100% and Moody's not the biggest factor, but they just look like they're not contenders. They would be in the pretenders category. What do you have? Contenders, pretenders, and what's the other one? Just they're not involved at all. I think the Warriors and Lakers are both pretenders. I don't see either one of those teams doing anything. So with the Warriors, if let's say they were able to pull a deal off with Draymond, it would have to, with LeBron, it would have to include Wiggins because of the salary. Does that make the Warriors any better? They'd have to give up.
Why does everybody want LeBron? I'd rather have Davis.
I don't think it has to be LeBron. I think there's
Davis instead. You get a
Davis is the right fit for this team. Davis would be the right fit.
I give up Wiggins, Kuminga, Bozo, Peyton. I'd give up whatever I can because you know what? Davis is that type of player. He's the best player on the Lakers, not LeBron. At least not anymore. I mean, that's what I think, Dan, if you're going to go for it. But I think I see what you're thinking because it's sort of hard to believe at one time they were 9-3 and they were dominating. Their offense was unbelievable.
They were 12-3, Lou.
Or 12-3. We're having major problems scoring. I mean, we scored 90 tonight.
They have 4 and 5 minute droughts without scoring. What is this? The WNBA?
They had 12 points with 1:27 left in the quarter. 12 in the fourth quarter.
This is like the WNBA where it's hard to watch when they go on these 5-minute scoring droughts. I mean, that's why I can't watch the WNBA. There's no action. There's more action in the stands at a WNBA game than there is on the court. Jake says, yes, I do. I do hate the WNBA.
And Dan, we talked about this last night. Do you remember how many turnovers the Warriors had?
Last night it was like 8 or 10.
They had 22 tonight.
Yeah.
22 turnovers. And if you noticed, again, I didn't see the first half, but it seemed like every time there was a turnover, it led to a basket the other way.
Well, the problem is they play tough pressure defense, and then if you get by somebody at the top and drive, here comes Gobert or Naz Reid or McDaniel, and they kick it out somewhere and they throw it away, or it goes out of bounds because they just lose it because they're intimidated. I mean,
yeah, Dan, we talked about this last night. Minnesota is coming in at the right time. You know, they had a night off. Warriors are going back to back. Minnesota had their talk. They've now won 4 in a row. They know where everyone belongs. You know, they're a different team. The Warriors are getting them at the wrong time, unfortunately.
Yeah, Minnesota is now 12-10. The Warriors are 14-9.
I think next game, should be a little bit closer. I think Anthony Edwards was a little done there at the end, I think, with all the talking, because Draymond and Steph don't like that kind of shit. And I think, they look both pretty. Draymond for sure didn't look super interested in the game. I think Steph was in and out. I think next game you'll get a better effort from both of them. And, if Steph tonight drops 40 points, we win the game. So it's really, I think what we haven't been talking about enough is Steph kind of looks like he's taking a step back. And, if he can kind of get it back, which I know for sure he can, I think there's a nagging injury. And I think he's, in bigger games or when he's wanted to, he's shown up. So I think, I'd look out for Steph to have a big game next game. I think, I don't know if you saw at the end, but he was like shaking his head and was like looking at Anthony Edwards.
I don't have Wiggins. It won't be close again. They need another scorer.
Yeah, I think Steph drops 45 points. It doesn't matter who's on. If we have Wiggins or not. I think if you have we haven't really seen a Steph explosion. So I think it'll be a closer game. I don't think it'll, regardless of if Wiggins is playing or not. For me, I think it'll be closer. I think today there was a lot of times they were getting up 15-20. I think it was we got lucky that it was as close as it was, I thought, because there was so many different times the Timberwolves were up 10-15. It was, I don't know. I think it'll be a better game next game. I don't know if we'll win, but I don't think it'll be. I don't think we'll score 80, or what did we score tonight? 91 points.
Or 90, but we had 12 points with 1:29 left.
Yeah, I think it'll be, I think we'll see a better offensive game from, a lot of the guys seem to be a little bit like Kuminga, for example. I think you'll definitely see a better game from him next game. I think it'll be,
What do you guys? What do you think of the screen green set on Anthony Edwards when he just? I mean, it wasn't a dirty play. It was he didn't move, but Edwards just the bench of Minnesota jumped up, and then Green helped up Edwards. Edwards kind of knew, like, dude, I just got body slammed.
Yeah, I think, a little frustration, but hey, that's part of the game, as long as it's clean. And by the way, I know I'm negative about Bozo, but who's been sort of quiet recently too? And maybe he's not as good. And Dan, you brought it up earlier on the podcast, on the show.
Buddy Hield?
Jackson Davis,
Oh,
besides not making things, is becoming so soft. The thing tonight is I think he was so intimidated, right? Where, I'm sorry, but, you're our center. You start sometimes. When Green's not there, you got to be a big badass. He's like, he had a big problem where he doesn't dunk the ball. He's intimidated by there. But, Gobert is standing around. You got to do something. You're the biggest guy on the court. You got to show him. He's become sort of soft.
Well, Gobert is just athletically big and talented on the defensive end, and he's intimidating because he's so long with those super long arms. But the guy that's really intimidating is Naz Reid. That dude is
Naz Reid. Oh yeah, he's a star.
He's tough. He's the guy I wanted like 3 years ago on the Warriors. I was like, dang, how do we get a guy like that? He kind of reminds me of a little bit of the mailman. A little bit is his size, and he's actually a little bit
size and body wise. Yeah, he was plus 20 tonight. Edwards was plus 23.
I don't see how the Warriors to beat Minnesota. There's one way they're going to be able to beat Minnesota. You know what that is? Got to hit your threes, because you can't get in the paint.
No way to beat them.
You can't get in the paint, and if you're not hitting your threes, I bet you. Let me look. This might have been a night the Warriors got out rebounded, because they usually win the rebound battle, the Warriors. But when you're missing all those shots and you got the length of Minnesota, let me check the box score. Okay, rebounds was 48.
Yeah, they got out rebounded 48-41.
41, yeah. Yeah, the Warriors are out rebounding almost every team this year. But you miss a shot against Minnesota, they're getting the rebound. Because it's like the Warriors look like dwarfs compared to the Minnesota front line. When they got Reed, McDaniel, and Gobert out there, and Randall.
Randall's 6'9", yeah. They're big.
And you got Randall, and he's a monster big, and he can hit the three.
And you have two lefties, which I think, is so different on the court. You have Conley shooting him, but Randall's so different. He's big, and he's a lefty. You're just not used to it.
You know what I'm going to do?
Go crazy.
I think this is a little bit of a bold take, because it's still early. We were talking about who we have the other night, OKC. Is it so-and-so? I think Minnesota's going to come out of the West. You know why? These guys have only played like 22, 23 games together. Wait till they get to game 50.
Two new guys. It takes a while.
Yeah. And once they figure it out, and DiVincenzo gets locked in if he doesn't get traded, he's like their 6th, 7th man. they're going to be very difficult. I mean, you gave up Cat for Randall and DiVincenzo. I think Minnesota, once they figure it out, got the better end of that deal. Because think about it. Randall can pick and pop, and he's tougher than Cat down low.
Randall was New York's best player before he got injured. He was an all-star.
Right.
No,
and
Julius Randle. I mean, not Julius Randle. Jalen Brunson last year was better than Julius Randle.
I agree for the whole year, but if you look at the first part of the year, Randall was unbelievable. He was averaging like 28 points a game.
Yeah, but that's because Brunson was also coming. Julius Randle's a really good player, but I think Jalen Brunson's the stud.
I'd love to have him.
I think Minnesota finishes in the top 4. Where are they at right now? Let me look. I think they're 9th. But if they beat the Warriors on Sunday, they are tied. Both will have 13-10 records. And Minnesota is 9th right now. They're 5 back of Oklahoma City. They will move into the top. Well, they'll at least get to 5. The top 4's, I think Houston falls out of the top 4. It's going to be OKC, and Dallas is going to be in there. Probably Memphis. And then I think Minnesota finds its way in there. Denver's going to be higher than the Warriors at the end of the season, I think. The Clippers are going to be I think the Warriors
I'm not sold Denver will be higher. I think Denver beats I think Denver, will beat us in like a playoff series, but Denver has a lot of the issues the Warriors have where they're kind of a one-man show. And I don't know, the other night, if the Warriors didn't have these crazy scoring droughts, I mean, Denver would have lost to us. And, you're saying, oh, I don't know about the Warriors. I think Denver, the problem with Denver is Jamal Murray has taken a huge step back in the last 2 years. A huge step back. And Michael Porter Jr. might be one of the most overpaid players in the league. I mean, he's almost making $50 million as a third option.
Yeah, that's tough.
And they have no bench. The problem with Denver is we have too many guys who can be on the bench, and Denver has I don't even know one of their bench players. It's like Christian Brown, who's like a young dude.
They haven't been healthy, the Nuggets.
Yeah, and that's my thing with the Nuggets too. Their health is Jokic is really the only guy who's consistently healthy on that team.
Yeah, it looks like the West is going to be tough. They're going to beat each other up. There's going to be a ton of teams stacked in that from when you get to probably the last couple weeks of the season or so, there's going to be 5-6 teams separated for the last, I would say, 4 spots, 6 through 10, the last 5 spots. I'll bet you're going to have teams all hovering in the upper 40s wins.
Yeah, Warriors will be probably 42-40 to end the season.
No, I think they get to at least 44 and 38.
All right, just making sure. Dan, Mark Graves, another good poll by you. I think he's bringing up a good point. A couple of these games, the Warriors are having problems playing just a half-court game. They need to get the ball.
Can't score.
When they shoot a three-pointer in transition, especially Buddy, that's like his game. But when they have to do a set play and sort of force a three-pointer, they're not scoring.
I think Mark they need to get into the pick and roll game with Steph and Kuminga, because if you watch the teams that are guarding the Warriors offense consists of running around the 3-point line all around the court, all the passes. It's the screen and the cut, and it's all happening. The old Warriors, when they had Andrew Bogut, and then who was the other center they had after that? They had McGee, but they had then they had
the guy that does the show for them, the tall
Festus Ezeli.
Yeah.
But they used to be able to do a lot of pick and rolls. They used to do lobs. the back door was open because teams overplayed.
Yeah.
The Warriors don't have much to get down to, especially when they face these teams like Minnesota.
Very
Because
defensively. Like, that's what happened to Green tonight. He like tried to force 2 plays that weren't even there.
Right. And
You know?
so the Warriors have to figure a way to get, when they're in a half-court offense like this, they're going to have to get Gobert on Steph. And Gobert, where there's a pick and roll where Steph could drive and pull up and shoot, or, lob or bounce pass, whatever, to the cutter. Because if they're just letting them shoot the 3-point shots if you notice Steph's 3-pointer at the end of the first half, I mean, it was a Steph type play, but he had to hurry and get that thing off, and he had to shoot it more really low because he had to get it off really fast or it would have got blocked.
Yeah.
Because he shot it more from
His usual
the shoulder. He didn't go up like he didn't have time. And that's what I'm saying is, when you're playing a team like the T-Wolves that are very long, you're going to have
physical.
You're going to have to do something to get guys open looks, and they had some open looks tonight.
Like I said, the Warriors, again, it's not that they didn't make them, it's who's taking our shots. When you have Kuminga and Curry on the floor and they don't touch the ball, to me, it's like, wait a minute. I just don't understand it. Kerr is so great with plays after timeouts. He's legendary status.
Right.
But when you're not scoring and you have the same guy shoot 2 3-pointers and another wide open, and your 2 best players don't even touch the ball, to me, that's a problem. It's not like you're up, you're down.
Yeah. Well, what do you guys think for Sunday? We'll move through this. What do you think the key for them to bounce back and win, and can they do it Sunday?
I think if we have a good Steph game, we can, definitely win. I think if, obviously in combination with other players playing well, but I think Steph and Draymond need to show up with energy. I think it's important for them to both be really into the game. I think Kuminga having a day rest is going to get him that juice back. So I think that's going to bring us at least another 6 points from he didn't have a great game today. And I think he will next game, because you got to keep in mind, he's, a young guy too, like Anthony Edwards, and, they all have, healthy egos. And so I think he'll show up next game. And I think that's really going to be the key, is those 3 players, is all 3 of them were, Draymond wasn't good. Kuminga and Curry were okay. And I think those 3 players need to all have good games for the Warriors to win.
Do you think the Warriors have to run it up and down the court as fast as they can to beat Minnesota?
Like Mark was saying, they shouldn't even get into their offense. They should just go as quick as possible up and down the court.
Works right into the hands of Minnesota.
Yep, that's why they only scored 90 points tonight. And you're going to have to move.
Yeah, I wouldn't even try to run your actions or anything like that. I would just go straight into it.
Yeah, they're going to have to
straight into your actions. Still, run them, but don't run sets and hold the ball with Draymond. Problem is, and that's Draymond is kind of the issue with a lot of that. And that's why last game was playing a lot faster. Is Draymond, because he doesn't want to score a lot, he's holds the ball up court like a quarterback, and that's good when you have a bunch of really good offensive players. But if you don't, it's like you're kind of letting people get and guard these people. It's kind of like, you know what I mean? You want sometimes these people to be open.
You guys just took my words right out of my mouth. Both of you guys, Adrian and Jake, they are looking slow, and Adrian, they're looking old. All of a sudden, this team looks to me like it happened overnight. And I don't know if it was because they got a pretty easy schedule in the beginning, although they did have some tough.
No, they didn't have any.
They had that tough road trip on the East where they beat Boston.
Celtics, OKC. They
Yeah,
beat,
that was tough. But they
I think
started
it was-
off 3-0 because they had Portland and Utah and somebody else. But
Mhm.
then I think the confidence of them winning on the road kind of gave them a false sense of maybe who they are. Plus, I think the Melton injury really, really hurt him big time because
Yeah.
it changed the rotation. It changed not only Melton was great on defense, but he was an offensive threat. And you took that out, and now you got you got GP2 is not an offensive threat. And who's our other guy, Lou? What's the other guy's name? Bozo. There we go. We got Bozo and Peyton.
He played the most minutes again tonight.
Yeah, you know what? Bozo's gonna. Oh gosh, and then it's just gosh, you know what? There is a possibility that they don't make it to 44, Lou. You might be this team as they go deeper. I think they put it together, but I think they got to make a trade. They're going to have to make a trade, and they need a big man in the worst way. Come on.
Yeah, I just think the biggest problem with the Warriors is people forget they made it like last year. The Warriors made the playoffs and they had a deep run. They didn't. Okay, so what do? They come back. They get somebody who gets injured. That happens. But maybe these other players that we thought were going to be good, it's just they're definitely missing something. But like I said, last year, the Warriors weren't like top 5. I mean, they were in the play-in, weren't they? I mean, didn't they finish 9 or?
What's keeping them in their games this year is their defense. They're a top 5 defense, and that's
the defense has been great. But you know what? You can't. It's not football. You need offense in the NBA. You can be playing great defense. I mean, they held them to 107 points, which is great at home, but you still lost by 17.
They're 2 players away, in my opinion. They need 2 type of players. They need a Vucevic and a Josh Giddey, or a Vucevic and a Dante DiVincenzo. They need somebody that can handle the ball and shoot from the outside, grab and shoot, and then also they need somebody down low that's a presence, that's physical. They need somebody physical. Like you said.
No, that's a good point. And then
DJD is soft.
What happened to Wiggins? Because let me tell you something. If he's not there Sunday, I don't think it's close.
I don't either. He's got an ankle. He hurt an ankle the other night, and it's been bothering him, but he's been playing through it. Tonight.
Okay, so he played 19 minutes, and they took him out, and he didn't play the whole second half.
Correct. They said at halftime
it might be worse.
It might have re-aggravated it. Yeah. So I think the ankle is probably – I don't think he's going to play Sunday, to be honest with you. I think they're going to realize – yeah. I think they're going to say, you know what? We got to get this well. Otherwise, we're going to be chasing this all year long.
Yeah. And if Buddy Hield isn't scoring, that means you have 2 scorers. That's it. You have Curry, and he can't play all 48 minutes. And then you have Kuminga. And it changes it because maybe some of those guard Wiggins are going to say, okay, guys, let's make sure Curry doesn't beat us, and let's make sure Kuminga doesn't drive, and then that changes the game. And the way we're shooting right now, I mean, when you're at home, you got to at least be 40%.
All right, we've got a winner. We've got our winner for the
quote of the night.
Quote of the night. Here it is. Corey Cooper. 49ers, Warriors, and Giants all can't score. There you go.
It's a pandemic.
You get into the red zone.
Has it.
There it is. Guys, I wish I could put a poll up, but let me ask you this before we get out of here. I want type fast. I want to see everybody who's in here just respond. Who's the most exciting team that you think has the most exciting team going right now and going forward in the Bay Area? Is it the 49ers? Is it the Warriors? Is it the Giants? Or is it the Sharks? You tell me. Jake is first up. He's got Sharks. He knew where I was going. Okay. Sharks. Give me Just give me, you can, if you want to type quick, you can put WG49 or S. But, and Jake, don't get me going. Don't get me going with that, Jake.
Jake, you better not have gone and watched ESPN and watched the expansion draft. I can't believe they even televised that today on ESPN.
They had an expansion draft?
Yeah.
They had an expansion draft, and ESPN, wait a minute. ESPN don't tell me they didn't, they covered it.
They covered it.
Oh,
of course, they got nothing else on.
Oh, my goodness.
You got to remember, ESPN is still so woke. They have, and in fact, they didn't even advertise the Warrior game tonight. All they did was they advertised that and then some women's college tournament without even South Carolina.
Expansion draft.
They still they got the girl from Las Vegas, I heard was their first pick. You know, the problem ESPN, they didn't advertise anything. Nothing about the Warriors game.
I can't stand watching ESPN.
It's a joke.
ESPN, I don't even watch their crap anymore. I watch their live games. I don't watch their news anymore.
I mean, Stephen Smith's horrible.
Give me a break. You got to be kidding me. They broadcast a WNBA expansion draft? What did they do to make it interesting?
They probably got 20 people that watched it. I mean, nobody watches the game. In fact, if you go and ask the chat beside Clayton Clark, name 2 players in the WNBA, I can't.
Wait. Let me change our background for the WNBA here. Okay.
Yeah, there you go.
There we go.
And let me tell you something. People forgot Sacramento had a team for 4 years. The 4th year, nobody showed up, and they sold it for a box of rocks. They're all excited in San Francisco. That's fine. But you watch. They have all these people all excited. Oh, yeah. Give it 2 years.
Talking WNBA. There we go. Let's see. How do we – oh, there we go. How do we do that? Okay.
Draymond was there. Draymond's so into – it's almost like he probably owns part of the team.
Those guys are forced to support that. You can't tell me they enjoy watching that basketball. Come on. Serious?
Maybe that's Draymond's problem. He's concentrating too much on the WNBA and not the NBA's own team.
Give me a break. Look. I've got 4 daughters.
San Jose Earthquakes. Jake, San Jose Earthquakes finally had a team that wasn't 85 games below. You know, every year, I've gone to the California Classico at Stanford Stadium. The place is rocking. But I'm just not a huge soccer fan, and the Earthquakes just aren't that good.
Yeah. Let's transition over here. Speaking of WNBA, let's transition. Okay. Have we talked about the Giants hiring the Pirates scout to be director of pro scouting? This is absolutely crazy. Why not target scouts who can choose talent? Absolutely. I mean, who have the Pirates drafted that has been good? Forget the Skeens draft. That
he was the first pick overall. How could you say that?
That didn't take scouting. That just took
luck.
Who's their big guy? Kebron Hayes, their third baseman. Who's their big guy?
No, they still got what's his name, the former Giant, who's 55 years old.
You talking about the center fielder?
No, third base. The center fielder. He's 55 years old.
Brian Reynolds
for the Giants for 2 years.
That was Brian Reynolds. Who they developed?
No, not Reynolds. The other guy who was good with the Pirates, and then we traded for him, and then he went back.
McCutchen.
Yeah, he's 55 years old now. You know, they're decent, but they're not that good.
De La Cruz. They got him in a trade. Okay, they got him in a trade from
De La Cruz away.
Miami. They got Haynes. Who's really good out of Pitt? O'Neal Cruz? Maybe? O'Neal Cruz? Oh, there we go. Mark Graves put it up. O'Neal Cruz. Yeah.
Pirates were relevant. You guys forget our greatest shortstop of all time hit a grand slam and Mad Bum pitched a shutout in one of the craziest road games ever.
I mentioned him, Kebron. Whatever, how do you say his name? The third baseman. I don't know. you know what, guys? Let me switch this over.
A lot of talk. I'm not really impressed. So what if we're getting all these guys? Strength coach, this. We need ball players. New coaches with the team we have. We're still not going anywhere except fourth place.
Guys, I have a video coming out tomorrow. Okay.
Can't wait.
Couple of videos will hit the airwaves tomorrow. One of the videos is on, give it to you, Haesung Kim. Okay, you'll want to watch that one. And the other one is on the Giants. What are they going to do? What's their offseason plans? And we're looking for, I had the title of it here. Where is it? Oh, here it is. A deep dive into the San Francisco Giants off-season plans, okay? Which don't look to be much right now, but I'll tell you what in the video we'll talk about. Make sure you catch that tomorrow. I've still yet to record it. I'll be recording it soon. I've already got it all in here in my head and what I'm going to be talking about, but so I can't tell you if it's 10 minutes or 20 minutes long. But I'll give you a hint what the Giants need to do. Let me see if I can find the hint.
And you saw another pitcher is gone. The Mets signed that pitcher from the Yanks.
Oh, yeah, Clay Holmes?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I love Susan Slessor's thing. Giants have been in contact with Burns. Well, they've been talking to him for a month. That's not really a headline or anything. Tell us something good, like maybe they're down to 2 teams.
Hey, I wouldn't be surprised if Burns even went to the Dodgers. I'll tell you what. Depending on what the Dodgers are going to do, if you guys watched my video earlier today that went out on Juan Soto, the team that comes up short on Juan Soto, if they move quickly, look, if you're willing to spend $600 to $700 million on Juan Soto, why wouldn't you go out and spend $600 to $700 on 3 players like Burns and Fried and Teoscar Hernandez? You can actually get 4 because Hernandez is not getting more than $100 million. So if Teoscar got 3 years and 75, let's say, and Fried, he's probably in the neighborhood of 140. So, you're looking, let's say 2.25, and Burns is 200. That's 4.25. And you were going to spend $600-700 on one guy. You just spent 4.25 on 3 guys. Now go out and get Adames. 4.25. You give Adames 175 over 6 years.
Yeah, they were talking about the Yankees. If Soto leaves, they're going to get the 2 big switch hitters.
Yeah, and then you spend $600 million, and you have a better team.
Yeah,
you fill 4 holes. You get 2 star pitchers, and you get 2 pretty good players. How's that? There it is.
It's almost too easy.
How's that? Fried, Burns, Teoscar Hernandez, and Willie Adames. Instead, who would you rather have? Those 4 or Soto?
I got those 4.
Absolutely. Or if you want to replace Teoscar with Anthony Santander, they're interchangeable as far as I'm concerned. You're still better off. Jake says, read my previous comments. Dan, which one? This one? Dan, your thoughts? Or
no, he wants David Forrest.
Oh. David
Was that
Forrest.
One, or A's got a stud with limited
GM.
money. The Giants
Dave Forrest.
Like
that's the A's GM, I believe, right? Yeah. Well, Giants just need to. Well, they really what they really need to do is
they need a direction. Get on the road, get a compass, and go somewhere. Just don't sit idle.
Yeah. Exactly. Here's what the Giants. You want to know what the Giants really need to do?
Talk to me.
I'll show you in pictures.
I like what CC says there. Giants are sitting out this decade. Yeah, it's pretty close.
You guys get that? What the picture is? One brick at a time, rebuild it. Right, Lou?
I'd rather if they admit that. That's fine with me.
I think
at least I see guys that are hungry that want to play.
Yeah. Yeah. So
I don't know, Dan. I'm pretty excited by the Warrior game. Sunday night. Who knows? Maybe we're wrong. Maybe there's going to be action.
Oh, there's going to be some action in the winter meetings. Once Soto signs, remember what I said? He's going to sign at the winter meetings, right?
Yeah, day one. That's what they want. I mean, the team probably knows, but they want to do it. That'll be the big splash, and everyone's going to talk about it.
He's either signing tomorrow, okay? He's signing tomorrow, Sunday, or Monday. Now, didn't Ohtani sign last year just a week or so before the winter meetings?
Yeah, and Judge signed 2 days before it started.
I know it was on a Saturday.
Yeah.
Because I was driving down to Tucson, and Eric calls me and tells me that Ohtani just signed with the Dodgers. This crazy amount. And I'm sitting there driving, doing the show on my phone, as I'm driving, and Eric's manning the studio. But it was crazy. I just hope I'm not somewhere where I can't get out and it breaks. My flying to the winter meetings.
I think the cool thing is we're not involved this year, so we don't have to worry. Are the Giants going to get Soto like we did Judge and Ohtani? No BS. The Farhan move.
Yeah. Oh, here we go. What? Request for media. What do we got here? Delivery incomplete.
Gary Cooper, you're doing some good thing. That's something that Dan's been talking about.
What did I do? I sent an email and it never got delivered. I was wondering. Hold on. I was wondering why this didn't get delivered. I didn't hear anything back. Hold on. I may have spelled the word wrong, probably. Shoot. That ticks me off. I was waiting to hear back from did I spell the word wrong? Let me look here.
And while Dan's figuring that out, if anybody in the chat is a serviceman, big win by Army tonight. Go Army.
Yep. I spelled the word wrong.
Game against Navy next weekend, one of the greatest traditions in college football.
I spelt the word wrong. Doggone it. That's why my email got bounced back. Dang it. I was wondering what happened. Shoot. All right. I'll have to redo that. Got it. That sucks.
And they didn't even what Corey Cooper said. Sort of what you were saying. Since the Giants can't sign hitting, trade Webb and do anything else to entice the White Sox for Lewis Roberts.
Yeah, they need to trade for hitting. Absolutely. Look, Webb, the Giants aren't going to be good until at least 28. Okay. And if they want to do it right, they should rebuild and play the young guys, see who's good enough to keep and who's part of their future. And if they're not going to make it, start moving off of guys. If you end up losing 100 games for a couple of years, you get some great draft picks. Hopefully you hire somebody that knows how to draft well, scout well, and you develop well, and you turn the thing around. And by 28, all of a sudden you're young and you're good and you remain good because it's sustainable. Ridiculous to keep what they're doing going. But anyway, let's get out of here. I've got to redo this email. I'm really ticked off because
no problem.
I sent this email on Thursday, Wednesday. And I didn't get any news back. And I'm like, why aren't they answering my email? And I had one letter off in the spelling, and I'm just finding out about
probably
it now.
where you send it to, like
Yes.
a Gmail. Yeah.
Yes,
That's
I didn't get it. It didn't get there. They should have bounced it back immediately. But now I tell, Google will try in 45 hours again. No, we don't want it to go again. I'll have to redo it.
Yeah.
All right.
All right,
Anyway.
Dan. Well, hey, thank our sponsors. You know, on a rough night like this after the Warriors, nothing better than, of course, the great Yogurt Shack.
There we go. You get 2 of these. Look at that. Wait.
I could have used one tonight. It's Friday night. Why not?
Look at that. 2. Double. You want a double in and out? Then you go on over to,
there you go.
then head on over to Yogurt Shack for some dessert. Forget the milkshake at
and subscribe. It's easy.
Like, subscribe, join a membership, whatever. You don't have to. We're going to start.
Jake, great job tonight. Corey Cooper, I noticed you, I think, last night the first time. Great. You've had some incredible comments, so keep it up. Good
Corey follows me on Twitter. Yeah. Check us out check me out on Twitter if you're not a follower on Twitter at NorCal Sports NW. At NorCal Sports NW.
Yeah. Hey, Dan, can I say something about the chat? So Dan changed it, guys. So you guys got to make sure if you try to get it on Twitter and you punch up Dan, your old one, it doesn't work. So you got to put the right symbol in.
Oh, yeah. It's
you didn't have the NW before.
No, I had to change it. Yeah,
guys, make sure you guys are.
I was abbreviating NorCal, NCal, so this way I thought it would be easier to spell it all out. NorCal Sport, but they only give you 14 characters. For your name, so I don't have room for network, so it's NW.
Mark Graves, no dessert at the prime rib tonight. I had an end cut, a second order, huge baked potato. I did get extra Yosher pudding. It was delicious.
I love a good baked potato. Wow. So we got some new music. Let's see. What do we want to go out with? Do we want to go out with a different?
Yeah, let's do it. Everybody have a great weekend. Remember, if something breaks, NorCal will be on top of it.
Absolutely. Juan Soto signs, Corbin Burns signs, the Giants do anything that's noteworthy, we'll be here. If the Giants sign Charlie Morton, we're not coming on, okay? We're not coming on for Charlie Morton signing, okay? Just not going to happen. How's this music?
Let's hear it. Joe Schmo went to the House of Prime Rib tonight. Get the end cut. Delicious.
Let me see.
In San Francisco on Van Ness.
I had the volume down. How's this one?
At Benetard?
No, I don't know what the heck it is. I just downloaded it tonight. Not bad.
Good way to get out.
There we go. All right, everybody. Thanks for joining NorCal Sports Network. Check out the videos. Yeah, Corey, that might happen. An overpay for Flaherty. So we will see you tomorrow. Tomorrow night, 8 o'clock. We'll have something to do with the Giants tomorrow night, guys. We'll figure out the topic. Check out the videos tomorrow coming out on Haesung Kim and the Giants' plans for the offseason. And we will see you at 8 tomorrow night. Take care, everybody.